You certainly may, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Bennett,
Present.
Commissioner Daniels,
Present.
Commissioner Esparza,
Present.
Commissioner Harrison,
Present.
Commissioner Lewis,
Present.
Commissioner Smith,
Present.
Commissioner Russell,
Here.
and Commissioner Udabi.
Present.
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, you have a quorum present.
Thank you, Director Todd. Moving on to the agenda. Do we have any amendments to the agenda?
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, there are none.
As there are no amendments, looking for a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair. All in support of approving the agenda as presented indicate with the support of aye.
Aye.
And opposition sign of nay. There are no nays. The agenda has been approved. Next, we have the meeting minutes for May 15th, 2025. Looking for a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
So moved.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Do we have a second?
Support.
Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. All in support of approving the meeting minutes for May 15th, 2025 indicate your support with the sign of aye.
Aye.
And in opposition, sign of nay. There are no nays. The meeting minutes for May 15th have been approved. Next, we have the first presentation and discussion. This is from the Detroit Land Bank Authority. Welcome, Ms. Daniels. Dr. Todd.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, as we are graced by the presence of the Detroit Land Bank Authority and its CEO, Tammy Daniels, as well as Rob Lynn. I want to remind the Commission that their presence here is generally in response to some of the questions and concerns that were raised during your initial consideration of the proposed zoning amendment from the Office of the Chief Operating Officer. And this is, of course, their first time to come before you, so they will also be providing you with a little bit of an introductory presentation before addressing some of those concerns and questions that were raised when, again, the proposed ordinance came before you back in July. So with that, I'd like to yield the floor to Ms. Daniels.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having. Thank you so much for having the Land Bank here today. My name is Tammy Daniels. I'm the CEO of the Detroit Land Bank Authority. I'm here with my colleague Rob Lynn, who leads our planning and analysis department at the Land Bank. And we just have a brief presentation that gives you an overview of our operations and some of our flagship programs that have driven a significant number of the sales that we have accomplished over the last 10 years. So you can start the slide deck. So the Detroit Land Bank Authority is the largest land bank in the country. We have unfortunately held that title because we have an inventory currently of a little less than 65,000 pieces of publicly owned property in our inventory. That is significantly down from the height of our inventory, which was about 115,000 10 years ago. I don't have a slide that reflects it, but our inventory is significantly larger than most land banks in the country. And so we face a particularly daunting challenge because our goal is to return property to productive use as quickly as possible, especially our structure inventory, because we know as it continues to sit, it continues to deteriorate. And, we demolished a significant number of houses. The goal is to save as many as possible. So as I said, we manage a large portfolio of residential property, both vacant lots and structures. Our current inventory is about a little over 59,000 pieces of vacant land, and we have about 1,500 salvageable structures left. We have been successful in reducing our inventory through a lot of our flagship programs like auction, Own It Now, side lot, neighborhood lot sales, and our Rehabbed and Ready program. Our efforts and our work is really to support neighborhood revitalization by creating pathways to home ownership, reducing vacancy and blight, and partnering with communities and community organizations to ensure thoughtful and inclusive land reuse. Next slide. We have been extremely successful in our efforts over the last decade. We have sold over 50,000 pieces of land since 2014. Of the more than 20,000 houses that we've sold, this past year we celebrated 12,000 houses having been rehabbed and occupied. 6,000 Detroit residents have become homeowners through some of our programming. We have sold over 30,000 pieces of vacant land. And collectively, with the work of the city demolition department, we've touched 1 in 5 homes in the city. We are very proud to say that in 2024, 82% of our buyers were Detroit residents. Next slide. As I alluded to earlier, in 2024, the city made the decision to transfer all of the residential property to the land bank with I believe the goal to make it easier, because previously, residential property was held by a bunch of different entities, and so people did not know where to go to get land. So it was all transferred to the land bank. And at the height of our inventory, again, we had 115,000 pieces of property in our inventory, and we're down, like I said, to a little over, maybe between vacant land and structures, less than 65,000. And this chart just kind of shows the vast reduction in our structure inventory. This next slide just reflects, as I said, we sold 30,000 pieces of vacant land, and it's all across the city. Our sales touch every neighborhood, every district, and this in large part is due to some of our flagship programming, which I'm going to talk about next. Our side lot and neighborhood lot program, I'm going to skip down. It enables Detroit homeowners to purchase vacant lots that are adjacent to their home or within 500 feet of their home for beautification, community gardens, private yard expansion, and it's at a very low price. So side lots are $100 per lot. It's a fixed price. And neighborhood lots are lots where if you live within 500 feet of a vacant lot, you can buy that lot for $250. And we've sold, the vast majority of the 30,000 lots that we've sold have gone through these two programs. Our structure sales, another one of our very popular programs is our Auction and Own It Now bidding platforms. The auction platform allows your traditional bidding for property. All property starts at $1,000, and at the end of the auction period, the highest bidder wins the property. Our Own It Now platform is slightly different. There is not a back and forth bidding. You put your highest and best offer in, and at the close of the auction, whoever has the highest bid wins the property. Two programs that really allow the participants in those auctions to get property at a very inexpensive price, often walking in the door with equity, but also walking in the door with an obligation to rehab that property and bring it back to productive use. All of our sales require rehab. You have to fix the house up. Our standard purchase agreement gives people 6 months, but we know because of the condition of our property that 6 months is not enough time, and so what we find is the average person who purchased the property from the land bank is in our compliance pipeline for over 2 years. And as long as you are working toward that goal, and as long as you are fixing up that house, we continue to extend the time, because we know that many of our purchasers are fixing the house up paycheck to paycheck, and they're doing it with their own sweat equity, which is not a problem. It just requires more time. And we are, as long as they're communicating, we will work with them to give them more time. Our Rehabbed and Ready program is a program where we go into neighborhoods. We do a full gut rehab of a property, not just the cosmetic rehab, but we go in, replace electrical, we do sewer line replacements. Sometimes we have to, shore up foundation walls in the basement, but a full gut rehab, and we put that property on the open market, on the MLS. The goal is not to make money. The goal is to activate the private mortgage market in these neighborhoods that have not seen activity, so that long-term residents have an understanding of the value of their property. And so we activate the private mortgage market. They now have a comp that they can use to go and either get a home equity loan, or if they want to sell their property, they know my property is now worth X dollars. And so that has been a very successful program that we have replicated over 100, I think 116 times we've done that in various neighborhoods around the city that have not seen that activity to spur activity in those neighborhoods. And then our buyback program, we actually today celebrated our ninth annual buyback graduation. And that is a program where we seek to reconnect individuals who either owned the house previously, or their family member owned the house, or they were a tenant and the landlord may have lost the house to taxes, but they've been occupying that home. We reconnect them with the ownership. So for $1,000 and a year's worth of saving to pay taxes and going to classes to learn how to, manage and budget money and learn how to, maintain a home, after the 1 year period, they get the deed to their house free and clear. And we've done that over, today was 1,363 times. We have reconnected individuals with the houses. And so that's always a wonderful program that we have been very successful in shepherding. And so next slide. And then this is just, wanted to kind of show you some of the work that Detroiters are doing with the property they're getting from the land bank. In this particular picture, the house on the left is the property that they bought from us back in like 2016. He purchased both of these houses and rehabbed them. And now his mother lives in one of them and he lives in the other one. And if you can kind of tell in the first set of pictures, there was a third house next to this last house. That house was demolished, and he then bought that side lot next to it for $100. So he has beautified 3 lots on this block. And these houses, as you can see, they have been renovated, rehabbed, and they are beautiful. And he has created wealth for himself and his family. And then I just want to kind of give you some highlights of some of the lots and what happens on the vacant lots that we sell. So this first lot is the Freedom Run Dog Park in D3, and as you can see at the top, that lot was overgrown. There was illegal dumping, and a community group bought that and converted it into a dog run, and the picture on the bottom shows the beautiful work that they've done. This middle picture is Umoja Village in D2. They purchased the lot, and the pictures on the bottom show that they're using it for Umoja Village to work with kids and do wonderful things in the community. And then finally, the third set of pictures, this is in D1 in Brightmoor. This Mr. Williams purchased several lots from us, and he converted overgrown lots with dumping into a park in honor of his mother. And this past year, we were out there with Mr. Williams and celebrated our 30,000 side lot sale at that park. And he does really wonderful things in the community of Brightmoor on that property. And then finally, I just wanted to highlight some of the real impact that it's had for Detroiters, because as I said, the vast majority of our sales are to Detroiters, and this last slide just shows the real financial impact that purchasing structures from the land bank can have on people. So the first house was sold for $2,000 in 2022, and that house currently, after he has rehabbed, it has a fair market value of $169,000. All of that equity is his. That value increase, that all belongs to the purchaser. Second house sold for $2,500 in 2020, and now it has a fair market value after he rehabbed it and put all of his work into it of $247,000. And finally, this last house we sold in 2018 for $2,050, and after they did the rehab work on it, it is now worth over $252,000. And all of that equity and value belong to the purchaser. And so time and time again, this is the work and the result of the work that we do. And in over 80 2% of the cases is going to Detroit residents. So I just wanted to highlight some of our programming, and I am here to answer any questions you may have about anything related to the land bank.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that presentation. Thank you for coming this evening. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Commissioner Lewis?
I think when you were here last, I did ask about the restrictions on the deed. I do have a few questions. It's very nice to meet you, Ms. Daniels. What is your maintenance budget for vacant land?
So for our vacant land, we partner with the city. The city manages the maintenance on our vacant lots. We support that. They are primarily the ones that do the cuts. They do 5 cuts a year. We provide support in that for maintenance for things that they cannot do. So they try to cut, large swaths of property at a time. So if there are like one-offs where, it's one house on the block, they call us out, we'll get that. If there is extreme dumping and they can't run their equipment over it, our team will go. And so we last year, I think we spent probably $3.5 or $4 million on maintenance. And we'd also address trees as well and removal of things like trailers and whatever, boats, the removal of those things as well.
Okay, so the Detroit Land Bank is not a city office.
No, we are a quasi-governmental entity created by the city and the state, but no.
Okay, and the tax dollars, to what extent financially, how much does the taxpayer pay to maintain the Detroit Land Bank's lots?
As I said, the city and the GSD, their budget covers the cutting of those lots.
Okay, so we don't know how much GSD
I can't tell you,
spends.
right?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I brought up the restriction, the deed restriction, and I do see here where you have indicated in your submission, submission to this commission that indeed there are deed restrictions. And I also saw where there would be a limitation, although I think there is some consideration of removing the deed restriction, but a limitation on the amount that a person owning a side lot could sell it for. Can you help me understand the reasoning for limiting the return on investment to a family that bought the side lot from the Detroit Land Bank for $100?
So let me start. The vast majority, I think we may have sold 11, less than 20 lots that have a deed restriction. So of the 30,000, the vast majority of them do not have a deed restriction. It's only lots sold within a particular area, our inclusive housing opportunity areas, that have that deed restriction. And the thought and the rationale behind it is that those are areas where they're trying to encourage housing to keep it affordable. And so they don't want speculation to run rampant, where we sell you a lot for $100, you flip it for $50,000 and sell it to a developer who then who builds something on it, and that house necessarily, because of that $50,000 flip, is more expensive, and it prices a whole group of low and moderate people out of the game. And so in those areas, side lots are available. I think you have to have been a resident for 2 years in that footprint. You can get a side lot. And then that side lot does have that deed restriction on it, which we will waive if requested to do so. But the goal in those areas is to encourage affordable housing development.
Okay, And certainly I can understand that it's an effort to manipulate the free market such that to keep the prices down. When a developer builds rental or for sale units, how do we keep that developer from getting a maximum return on his investment?
So we don't necessarily try to keep the developer from getting a maximum return, but for instance, when a developer comes to the land bank with a request to purchase land to do a development, if it is affordable, if it's going to be catered toward an affordable housing development, we offer deep discounts in order to make sure that the deal pencils out and that the land acquisition does not drive up the cost. And so that really is our effort to ensure that the cost of the land doesn't drive up the cost of the development,
Okay, so the developer doesn't lose because you make sure it pencils out.
as long as it's affordable. That's where the counts.
Okay, what I'm getting at here is the residents, and I appreciate that there are only a few structures with the restriction. And I guess I was doing side lots on deals in areas where those restrictions existed. And I appreciate that most of the lots do not have that restriction. And I also appreciate that an even playing field is just a dream. But I do advocate for an even playing field for every Detroit resident that bought a side lot, that they should be able to, based on what the market will bear, be able to sell that side lot based on market value without any restrictions from the land bank or anyone else, because this is the market, and that is a part of their legacy. If the land bank selected to sell the lot for $100 and that lot is worth $50,000 today, then that owner should be able to sell that lot for $50,000 in a free market. I don't think we should be manipulating the market, not for the residents nor the developer. Let the market do what the market does. If affordable housing, and certainly affordable housing needs to exist, but it needs to exist in a free market. Am I making sense to you?
Absolutely.
And so what I'm getting at is that, and I my colleagues here will tell you that sometimes I see things very differently. In my mind, to not allow that resident, whether they bought it for $50 or $100, to be able to sell that lot, whether they're selling it to a developer, and that is what I understand the administration wants, developers to have the opportunity to build on a 40-foot lot in order to increase housing in the city. I do not feel that families that bought side lots should be penalized in any way. I think if we are going to say to the builders of homes, we are going to make this change because we need more housing, except, Ms. Brown, you can't build a house for your granddaughter on your side lot. Does that make sense to you?
So, Commissioner Lewis, no. And that's why we have the ability to waive that restriction for the purchasers of those lots with the restriction. So there is.
And I'm talking about all of the lots, unrestricted. I'm talking about let the market do what the market does. I understand that affordable housing, and you might have to work with developers within the market in terms of what a free market is doing to make it profitable for the developer to build that affordable housing. I understand that. But still, you're working in a free market. And when that developer comes to you, that developer already knows what that return on investment needs to be in order for him or her to move forward. And that developer then says to you, if you handle the environmental, if you give me the lots for $1, if you give me some grants so I can pay my subcontractors, then I can do this. But the developer's bottom line is the same. The taxpayer is giving up something to get that affordable housing. And the developer should make money because he's taking the risk. And the resident, whether they know how to build a house or not, should have the exact same opportunity to pass or fail, to take the risk or not take the risk. And so this is what I'm getting at. I think it's a wonderful thing for us to move forward on all this vacant land. I think by the selling of those lots for $100, it saved the land bank millions of dollars in maintenance. And since you're not a City of Detroit entity, probably a ton of blight tickets. So there was a lot of savings there for you in selling it for $100. So if you step back and look at what was saved, the value is much higher to the land bank. That value is not a part of your presentation. But I'm sure by selling 30,000 lots for $100, millions of dollars were saved in maintenance. And so I'm just advocating for the people that bought the lots. I would like for them to have equal opportunity to build. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Lewis. Commissioner Daniels?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you guys for coming. So we got the same last name. I might be related.
I know.
But anyway, I had a couple of questions relative to the side lots. So when a home is demolished and there's a side lot, what's the process? How long does it take before that lot is available to the next door owner that wants to acquire it?
So that can take quite a bit of time because the demolition process can take well over a year and a half from start to finish. And for instance, with the demolitions that have taken place under the prop end bonds, we have to ensure that all of the contractors, the city has to ensure that all of the contractors are paid out. So the house may be down, grass may be growing, but as long as that property is still sitting in the demolition department's queue, we can't touch it. And so once all of their contractors have been paid out and they have completed that project, that's when they transfer it back to us. And so sometimes we really have no clue how long it's gonna take, but we estimate it at like a year and a half, sometimes 2 years, because they have, issues with contractors, making sure they get the invoices in. There are a host of things that can delay that process. But when a property is in the demolition queue, we can't touch it, we can't sell it, because they need to make sure that the property still is publicly owned to use those prop end dollars to pay for the demolition.
Okay. Because I know I'm a real estate broker by trade, but I have some folks that have contacted me asking me, there's a particular property on Van Dyke and Lynch Road. I think it's a commercial piece. Got a building on it. Been there for years. And there's a couple of people that want to acquire it to put their business there, but land bank said we can't sell it or they can't get it.
So, Commissioner Daniels, I'm not sure, you said it's a commercial piece of property?
Yes.
So typically, and we can check, if you give us an address, we can check and find out, but typically those are handled by the city. The Detroit Building Authority handles the commercial property, the city-owned commercial property. We only deal with residential.
Okay. So if a person owns 2 lots that they purchased from the tax sale on a particular street, and then the other properties surrounding it are owned by the land bank, how long would it take for them to acquire if they want to do a development? Say they want to buy the other 8 lots and do a residential development there. How long would that take?
So
Typically.
they want vacant land.
No, the land is already vacant.
But they're trying to purchase 8 vacant pieces of property.
Yes,
to
they
build.
already own 3 lots, I think, that they bought from the tax sale, Wayne County tax sale. So there are other lots on the block that are owned by the land bank.
So that's a economic development deal. They would make an application on our website, tell us what they are trying to do with the land. We would make sure that they have all of the documentation and paperwork they need. It is a process where we partner with the city and, share the deal and make sure everybody has sign off, our partners at the city. And then we also would make sure the title was clear on the lots, because they may need quiet title, so we might have to clear the title. So that could take a little bit longer. But there's a back and forth. And once everything is approved by our team and the city team, it goes to our board for approval. And any sale with under 10, that will be the process. If there are 10 lots or more, it then has to come to council for council to approve it. And so that extends the process. So depending, how comprehensive that package is that is presented in terms of purpose, funding, past experience, those are all the things that they look at. What's the purpose? The person, do they have experience doing it? Do they have the funding capacity, not only to buy the lots, but to complete the project? And then once all that is done, it goes through an approval internally. It goes across the street to our city partners for review. And as long as it's under, 9 lots or less, then it goes to our board, and that's it. 10 or more, then it has to go to council.
So 9 or less, it doesn't go before council.
Right.
Okay. So in order to speed up the process from when a property is demolished, the city would have to step up and take care of their vendors. I wonder why that process, we probably need to ask the city why it takes so long to, if they tore it down and it's been backfilled and they got the grass growing on it. The city don't do quiet titles or do title searches prior to acquiring or taking property to make sure that the title was quieted before they.
I can't speak for the city, but for the land bank, a significant amount of our inventory came to us through foreclosure. And so we, as a matter of process, before we sell a house or we sell lots for like an economic development project that you just talked about, we would check the title, make sure they were clear, because we wouldn't want the builder to have any problems getting financing if there are liens or things on the property.
But when the Wayne County takes a property, doesn't it go before the circuit judge and he authorizes them to the foreclosure?
For the taxes.
It's like a catch-22. You get the property for the taxes, you can sell it, but the title might not be clear.
Yeah, they don't do quiet title to foreclose on taxes.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Daniels. Commissioner Bennett.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for your presentation. I have a couple questions, mostly around the infill housing lot program. I went through it myself and built a home, and I wonder, I've kind of kept an eye on it and see, I'm curious as how successful has it been?
So, Commissioner Bennett, we've actually we've seen an uptick in applications for people to do infill housing. And so I would say the jury is still out, but we are now seeing a increased level of interest, a lot more applications coming through with people wanting to do infill housing. I mean, I think in large part because our structure inventory is so depleted that we only have less than 1,500 salvageable structures left. And so we know that there's a significant demand for housing, so they're going to have to build. And so.
And with that, is there anything in place to help current Detroiters, or is it all just market-based, whoever wants to go after it can go after? Is there anything that help someone that is a current Detroiter that wanted to purchase a infill housing lot specifically?
So it is market-based, but there are discounts for things like adjacency. So if you live in the neighborhood, you already have property in the neighborhood.
Okay.
That does give you the ability to get discounts.
Okay.
So that is how you get a leg up.
So strictly if you have proximity at that time, is there any thought to making it open to anyone that's in the city, regardless of their location?
So it is open.
I mean, for the discounting purpose.
So
Say
we don't want to
someone-
dilute the discount. And give it, if we give it to everyone, then it has no value. The discount.
A Detroiter specifically. So let's say someone, I'll take myself, young professional moves to the city, living in an apartment. They live in, let's say, Midtown, New Center, what have you. There's a lot in Grandma Rosedale, let's say. They have no proximity, but they are looking to build a home, and obviously the market for land has increased significantly. Would there be an appetite for looking at something like that where they have no proximity to, but they are looking to build a home for themselves? I know that you could do something where it had to be owner occupied for at least, a few years.
So we have not contemplated like the details. We've had many people raise that as a desire for us to provide that. We're always open to explore ways that we can support Detroiters and support more housing. So I would leave the door open and say, if you have some ideas you'd like to share with us about ways we could do it, I absolutely love to sit down and talk with you.
Yeah, having lived the experience and thinking it through in kind of conjunction with our next presentation of Detroit being a city of opportunity, here's a chance for you to be able to build a home for yourself at a reasonable price. Because I know what we purchased our lot for, and I see what now some of them are going for, and they can make it untenable, especially when you add in construction prices have gone up, let's say 2x in the last 3-4 years, but still something. So yeah, I'd love to give some thoughts and ideas, but I think just something to market the city is, hey, you move here, you can buy some land at a competitive price if you're living in the city and build your home for yourself and really fill out our neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. Vice Chair?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was thinking about housing. I got zoned out a little bit. Thank you so much for your presentation. I really appreciate it. One of my first question for you is, what is the decision-making process to do the Rehab and Ready program? What makes a property one that you all choose to do that program on?
So it really starts with the neighborhood. So we first look at neighborhoods that have not had a lot of mortgage activity. And then we look at what is our inventory in that footprint. And we also factor in how many houses do we have, because we really try to stagger our rehabs. We do 2-3 houses in a neighborhood because we're trying to keep building on the comp and keep building on the comp. So it really has to do with the neighborhoods, the market activity or the lack thereof in that neighborhood, and where we really think we can, push and increase the values for the residents. And I'll say this, I don't think I mentioned it earlier. That program is run in partnership with our philanthropic partners, and we operate that program at a loss. The goal is not for the land bank to make money, so we fully do the rehab and we sell it at whatever the market value is. And oftentimes that represents a substantial loss. But our philanthropic partners have been so generous, they cover that loss to allow us to keep recycling those funds and keep going from neighborhood to neighborhood.
Okay, thanks for giving some of that background. When you say you're looking at neighborhoods to decide, is it neighborhoods that are not having a lot of activity and that's when you decide, or ones where you see, oh, maybe there's more interest, we can rehab properties there?
Actually, the ones that don't have the activity. So we actually move out of neighborhoods once we see the activity picking up because we are no longer needed.
Okay, super helpful. And then I am familiar with the history of a lot of tax foreclosures happening in the city of Detroit due to overtaxation and a lack of communication and residents not fully knowing about that and then realizing they've lost their homes, et cetera. Was that the impetus to create the buyback program? Was that the reason for it?
That is in large part the reason. But when we got that large influx of property, a lot of it was occupied. And we needed to figure out a way to compassionately and thoughtfully deal with that issue as an entity that was not set up to provide wraparound and social services. That population is one that really does need that level of support and help. And so that program was built out of a recognition that, you know, hard times happen to everyone and that these people really needed a second opportunity at home ownership. The people who are successful in that program or who are eligible for the program have lived or have been connected to that house for years and they've never left. And so it is a way to reconnect them with the ownership of the homes. And so, yeah.
Okay. Thank you for describing that. I appreciate it, and I hope that as much as possible we can help folks who are in their homes, have been in their homes, to stay in their homes. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Yeah, Commissioner Lewis, go ahead.
If possible, could you provide us with a list of your residential GCs?
Commissioner Lewis, for our Rehab and Ready program?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Lewis. Commissioner Daniels, did you want to jump in? And then Commissioner Esparza.
Thank you. So you talk about the buyback program. So a person that's living in a property that's acquired through the tax sale and you guys get the property back, do they make payments?
So the way the program works is if you, say for instance, it could be your father owned the house and he lost it to taxes and you've been living there. You pay the $1,000 up front, and then for a year you save enough so that at the end of the year you can pay the tax bill, the summer tax bill. Along that same year, that time period, you're taking budgeting courses, home maintenance courses, just courses to help you be successful once you own the house, so that we don't have to worry about it coming back into our inventory of being lost for taxes. That's really the goal. And those classes and those supportive services are provided by our partners, nonprofit partners.
Okay. 'Cause I remember, I think a few years ago, before the auction became popular worldwide, I knew some gentlemen that bought 14 properties for like $20,000. They were all occupied. So they notified each occupant that they're the new owners per the tax sale and that they would sell them the homes on land contract for triple what they paid. So they paid $1,000, they want $3,000 back for the property. So they would pay them and they would get the deed. That sounds like it's similar to.
Except ours is flat 1,000, and then the money that you're saving doesn't come to the land bank. We have banking partners, so they open up a bank account with our banking partners, and they save the money in the bank they're in their account in their name, and then at the end of that year, that money goes to the Wayne County Treasurer.
Okay.
So yeah, it's $1,000.
Right across the board. So I guess the citizens don't really know about these various programs. I don't know, how do you put it out there so that they can get the information or let them know?
So we have increased our community engagement around these issues, but we actually, this month, have engaged the services of a third party to go out. So we have a population of properties that are occupied, and we've had them doing door knocking campaigns. So they're going to knock on these doors up to 5 times to get the resident, the individual who's living in that house, so they can come forward so that we can see if they qualify for the program. The goal is to get as many people to qualify as possible.
Okay. What was your name, sir? Eddie?
Rob Lynn.
Rob Lynn.
Yes, sir.
And you're the deputy director, or?
I'm the director of planning at the DLBA.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thanks again. I appreciate the information.
Thank you, Commissioner Daniels. Commissioner Esparza.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm going to presume that myself, just being aware of the name Detroit Land Bank Authority, that I probably joined a number of Detroit citizens that only know you by name as an organization, and that you have residential properties. So how do I approach the authority if I'm interested in seeing what's available? Do I have an in-person visit, or are there other options? And then how am I informed or given an orientation as to what I should understand about the Land Bank Authority?
So most people approach the land bank because they see a house or a piece of property that they're interested in, and they think we may own it, and they'll reach out to us. In that case, you would give us your name and contact information, give us the address. We'd say, oh, yes, we own it. Either it is for sale, and you can go on our website to purchase it, or it's not for sale, and we will notify you when it becomes available for sale. Many people can go to our website, which is buildingdetroit.org, and we have an all listings map on there. And that map allows you to browse our inventory and see, what we own. Going to our auction and our Own It Now website, the links allows you to see what currently is available for sale. We are in the community. We do office hours twice a month around the city, where we go into local businesses and we host a meeting during the day where people can come and ask questions. We have office hours at the land bank where you can come down if you need help navigating the computer. Somebody can sit there and help you sign up to become a purchaser. So you have to register in order to buy, but they'll help you, register so that you can then go home and kind of just peruse and shop the inventory. But the map is really the easiest, most convenient way to kind of look and see if there's anything you're interested in. And through that map, you can put inquiries on property. So if you're interested, you can submit that inquiry, and when it becomes available, you will be notified via email. The property at 1234 Main Street is now available. It's going to be up for auction on September 30th, so that you can go and bid. And so what I tell people is, register now. Even if you don't think you're going to buy anything, go ahead and register, because once you start to navigate the website, we're in the community. We go to community meetings. If there are community meetings or organizations that you're affiliated with and you think that the Land Bank's presence at a meeting would be helpful, we could share information about our programs. We bring teams out who will come and help you navigate, help you create an application, or help you apply for a side lot. We do that in the community. As I said, the event that we were at earlier this spring, our 30,000th lot celebration, was at a park in the community, and we had a team out there with computers out at the park while we were having the celebration. We're there to help people do that very thing. And so, but if you are affiliated with an organization, or if you know of an organization that would benefit from the land bank coming out, I encourage you, just let us know, and we absolutely will come and share the information.
Okay. What if English is my second language and I prefer to interact with my first language? How do you address that?
So we have several individuals on our team who speak multiple languages. So depending on what that first language is. We have either someone maybe on our team who speaks it, or we will get access to help to translate that, to make sure that we communicate in a way that is comfortable and you're clear and understand.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Esparza. You got one more, Bennett? Commissioner Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple more questions I thought of. Has there been much dialogue with the Office of the COO with this zoning proposal to increase housing, given that there's, assuming it goes through, there's going to be, there's a lot of land under the land bank.
Absolutely, yes. We've been partnering with the Office of the COO on this and support it, yes.
Okay.
The goal is more development, more housing. And yeah, we do have a little bit of land.
It's just a bit. And then my last question is on education. I know with I think it was a buyback, that there's education. With any other programs, do you have any education with the potential buyers or the actual buyers, especially if they are someone, if they're just trying to do something small for themselves, their first time out?
Oh, absolutely. So I think the biggest struggle that people have when interacting with the land bank is that there are so many ways to buy land, and they don't always know the best way. And so what our team is trained to do is to try to, they come in and say, oh, I want to buy this side lot because I want to do a community garden. Well, that may not be. If you want to do a community, you need 3 or more lots. That may not be the best way. Let's look at this program, create a project. And so they will gear them toward the programming that is best for what they say they want to do, and do it in a way that is most cost effective. So the goal to help them achieve their goal and to do it as inexpensively as possible. So a number of our programs that are outlined in the memo we submitted, the price point of those, like side lot, neighborhood lot, create a project, the price point for those, for buying properties under those programs is really cost effective. So we try to, so for instance, with our structures, that's to me the place where this kind of shows up and is most manifest, is with our structures. So for instance, with our auction property, we put on our website with the auction, we put a report up where we've gone through the house and we give you pictures of the entire property so you can see. And these are not Better Homes and Gardens pictures. This is, a house that has been neglected for a number of years and needs a significant amount of investment. So those pictures reflect that. We encourage everyone to do a walkthrough. Bring a contractor with you and walk through the property. So again, you know what you're getting into. As you, I think, alluded to, cut water lines. Our property has a disclaimer on it that says that the water line in this property may be cut. There used to be a time where we thought we had accurate information about what lines had been cut and what lines had not been cut. But we found out that information that was not accurate. So now all of our properties have this disclaimer that says the water line could be cut, and that is a very expensive replacement. It costs, and so people coming into purchasing, you cannot, you have to be prepared for worst case scenarios in a lot of situations. And so we do try to educate people. People will ask to purchase properties that have been on the demolition list. Ask us to pull properties off the demolition list. And then we just modified our policies to try to shore up and ensure that the people who are getting themselves into that are better able to negotiate and navigate having to rehab a property that was once on the demolition list. Meaning they have to show either the funds and the wherewithal to be able to bring it back to life, or the experience and skill set to do it themselves.
Into, and because sometimes they can be led astray even by a contractor.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'll also add that for our own and now homes, we, as a part of the renovation and rehab agreement, we require that they have a BC'd inspection. So they have to get BC'd in so that they can lay eyes on it, and BC will go through and tell them all of the systems that need to be addressed.
Okay, that's
So
great.
that is,
Okay.
all in the effort to educate them and put them on the right path to rehab it in a way that makes sense.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. Commissioner Russell.
Thank you, Chair. Thanks for being here, and I'm looking at the website. It really looks nice. I was curious, are they available? Can you search by zoning district?
So can you search by the type of zoning that's on the property?
Yes, say if I wanted to find a house located in R2.
Not currently, but that's a good idea.
Is that possible?
So that's a good idea. Let's, we are actually in the process of upgrading our website. So we're taking notes. That's a good idea. So, yeah,
Thank you, and thanks again for coming.
thank you.
Thank you.
Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Russell. Commissioner Daniels.
Thank you. On this water lines that have been disconnected from the properties, is it possible to provide a list to the potential buyers that the water line is not connected so that they'll know going in? Because you can't make an offer contingent on inspection, or can you?
No.
So if you make an offer to buy a property, it's take it as is.
Absolutely.
So you buy it and then you find out the water line is not there. It's another 20,000 or whatever it is to put it in there. So you can't. Is there a way that you could let the potential buyers know that the water line is not there, so that they would know that that expense is coming?
So, as I indicated previously, we used to try to do that. We would work with our partners at DWSD to try to provide that information, but we discovered that the information was not accurate. So we were telling people that the water line was intact, and we would find out that it had been cut. And so that is why we now have the disclaimer on our listings that says the water line may not be there, so that they know when you buy this property, you should be factoring in the cost of a water line. What we found is a significant number of our properties, the water line still is intact. But when they buy the property, they are buying it knowing that this is an expense I may have to incur. And that, that's why our prices have not changed over the years. Our opening bid has been $1,000 for all 10 years that I've been at the land bank. It has not gone up because we know that the cost of renovating these houses is expensive.
So I live in the 8 Mile Gratiot area, Mohican region area, and there was a house over there with a big poster on it that said that this house needs to be repaired or the land bank will take possession of it. What program is that?
So that sounds like our nuisance abatement program. And that program is where we identify privately owned, blighted, vacant structures, and we poster it so that the property owner can take care of it. With the rationale is that we're advocating for the neighbors who live next to it, who can't hire a lawyer and say, fix your house up. They can't ride their bikes up and down the street because the house is overgrown and it's dangerous. And so that is a program that advocates for the residents who do take care of their property and they want to see that blighted property resolved. And so we poster it to give the owner notice, call us, get into an agreement, fix the house up, and everything is good. If you don't, then we go to court and you have to explain to the judge why you should be allowed to leave your house in that condition.
So they don't repair it, because a lot of properties in the city are owned by out-of-towners, right? So when you try to track them down, you can't get the number or whatever. But if you put the poster on the door and they don't respond, then you go to court to take possession of the property?
We go to court, we file a lawsuit, and then we serve them. And then we actually serve them wherever they are. So if it's out of state, so they have notice of this lawsuit, so they can come to court and explain to the judge why they should not have to take care of their property and why their neighbors should be forced to live next to a blighted, vacant, overgrown, dilapidated house.
So a neighbor can call the land bank and say, hey, I got a house next door to me that's messed up. The grass is up to the hills and
Happens
whatever.
every day.
And you'll come out and you'll do an assessment and put the poster on the door?
Yeah, that happens every
So if
day.
you can't reach the owner, what do? You notify them by publication in legal news?
Absolutely.
And if they don't respond, then you get possession of it, then it'd be up for auction eventually. How long does it take once you get possession of it to put it up for auction?
Then it goes through
Once
our.
you go through the court and everything and all that's done, you get possession of it, it's yours. How long does it take?
Second court date, because then we quiet the title, because we don't sell structures with any liens on the property. So that's the first court date. And then we file a second lawsuit to quiet the title, so we can have clear title. And then we put it, at the same time we're, filing that second lawsuit, we have a team that's going through, assessing it, boarding it up and cleaning it out so that we can put it on one of our websites. Robbie's team determines what pipeline it should go into. And so then we sell it to somebody who's going to take care of it.
For $1,000 is the price
Open
increase?
and bid, yep.
It's always $1,000, so it's always
Auction
bid.
on it now, $1,000 open bid.
Yeah. I think I'm going to talk to the president of Mohican Region so you guys can come out and explain. There's a lot of houses on the east side over there that's been neglected. And again, like I said, I'm a real estate broker, and I be tracking down, and you call these numbers, they don't exist. The address is the mailing address. He didn't do a transfer affidavit, so the address is still at the property. So
Right.
only way you can serve them is through publication.
Right.
Okay, I'll let them know.
Absolutely.
Thanks again. We really appreciate it. It's been very informative, because there's a lot of questions folks be asking about the land bank and the process, and you gave us a lot of insight.
A lot of information for people to take in, a lot of programs. Again, and they oftentimes don't know which one.
Right. Okay, thanks again.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Daniels. Thank you for hanging out with us this late. I know it's been a little, quite a meeting. I do have a series of questions, and I think I'm going to go backwards because the last question kind of triggered some more questions. So for this nuisance abatement program, do you ticket or notice private property owners, or are these properties that are owned by that have a contract with the land bank because they bought it from the land bank?
So these are privately owned properties.
Okay. And this is just from my understanding, because I didn't know the land bank could do that. Just go to any private property and notice it and go through that process where they could, at one point, lose their property. Does B-Seed also operate because that sounds like code enforcement to me. So how does that differ from B-Seed's code enforcement? Why would they not go to B-Seed? Why does it go to the land bank and it sounds like you can lose your property on this side, but B seed, I think you get tickets, and can you speak to that at all?
So I'll say this, that, BC tickets have not always proven to be very much of a motivator for these extreme situations. And so these are the properties that we identify are not slightly, just like, your grass is just a little high, or, you got a gutter kind of hanging. These are extreme cases. And so
What are the criteria? What qualifies this as an extreme case?
So it has to be vacant, it has to be blighted, meaning missing windows, open to trespass, overgrown yard with debris. Unfortunately, you see a lot of it across the city. So, but yeah, it has to be, an extreme case. It can't just be,
So
need to cut your
vacant
grass.
and blighted as defined by, those criteria on what blighted is. And what is the timeline on that process? So a neighbor calls and says the house next to me is vacant, and looks horrible, rodents, X, Y, Z. Someone comes out. What is the timeline from when that person comes out and that entity is no longer the owner of that property?
So that can take a while because, again, it's through the court. So we start with the poster. The poster is supposed to get their attention. Call us. Because what we really want is for that private property owner is to step up and take care of it. We don't want, like, our goal is to be a structure-free land bank. So we don't want to take more property in. We want them to take care of it. And we enter into agreements all day, every day with property owners who've been identified as owning blighted property. Enter an agreement, ready to fix it up, and there is no lawsuit. The lawsuit happens when they refuse to either respond or you've given them many opportunities and they won't fix it up. We file the lawsuit, we go through all of the legal requirements, meaning service of process, and the court sets a hearing, and we go into the hearing. If they show up, the court hears them, oftentimes giving them an opportunity to address the blight, which is always what we want. Again, it's not our goal to take it, it's our goal to get you to address it. If they don't show up, that's typically when title is transferred, when they don't show up to the hearing. And that can take anywhere between probably 6 to 8 months
In
from
total.
the time it's identified to the time we get title.
And so through judge action, judge just says this individual can no longer maintain ownership for X, Y, Z reasons, and it just defaults to the land bank.
Right.
Very interesting.
But I will also say, Commissioner Smith, that in the case where that does happen, if the property owner comes forward at a later date and says, well, no, I didn't get notice, I was out of town, I was sick, we will work with them to transfer the title back to them, as long as they agree to fix it up. Again, that's the goal, is that the house be fixed up and then no longer serve as a blight on the neighborhood.
Do you have an estimate of how many homes, or well, I'm assuming they're usually homes, is it vacant land sometimes? How many properties?
houses.
Just houses.
For now,
You have
yeah.
just an estimate of how many times that has happened?
Happen where we give it back or where we take it?
Well, you just received it.
I don't want to make up a number, but I'll get the statistics and share them with Mr. Hurt until they can share them with you.
I'm gonna ask for a few numbers so you can just put them all together.
Okay.
And this is probably my last question related to this topic. Is it all residential land? You don't do this for commercial property?
Only residential.
Are you aware of a similar process for commercial property?
Oh, absolutely. The city runs a NAP program for commercial buildings.
Okay.
The city law department.
Okay, thank you. Do you have an estimate or just a number you could probably get to us later on the tax revenue that was returned to the city's coffers as a result of getting some of these rehab properties back online?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm just curious to what that value is.
Do you want structures or vacant land or both?
Both would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, appreciate it. Are you aware, kind of trying to double back to this ordinance that we'll be talking about next, are you aware of the breakdown of land bank property by zoning district, R1, R2 through R6?
I don't have that number, but we can get that for you.
Okay. And I think that's going to be important because I think one of the kind of reasons we asked the land bank to participate in this meeting was because that ordinance has a lot of changes to the R2 district. I'm looking at Ms. Taverner to make sure I'm saying it's the R2 district and a few other districts. And one of the questions was, how is the land bank preparing for what could be an influx in interest and development potential on R2 parcels, and how many parcels is in the land bank's inventory, just to get a gauge of where the land bank's stake is in this whole process. That was the kind of background to that. So I'd be curious if that number came forth, as well as is there a, because we're doing our master plan right now. I think we're working on the zoning ordinance kind of holistically right now. And I think you said you have 75,000
Vacant structures, vacant lots?
just properties.
Oh, we have a little less than 65,000.
65. Do you know how much of that is vacant?
About 59, a little over 59,000.
Okay. Is there a long-term strategy, a 5-10 year strategy, either in development or draft, or, is there plans to put one together on how the land bank plans to offload these, this surplus of property? How long that may take, what are these strategies? How do those strategies align with the master plan? How do those strategies align with potential changes to the zoning, which is what is the land bank strategy, 10 years later?
So, Commissioner Smith, we actually just underwent a 5-year planning exercise.
Okay.
It's on our website if you'd like to look at it, but it really does focus on how we are going to pivot our operations to focus on the vacant land. Now, it doesn't necessarily, mirror up with the zoning changes, because this planning process, or our strategic planning process, started about 2 years ago. But we work very closely with our city partners, and so we will pivot and adjust to make sure that our operations line up with whatever they need us to be doing.
Is it possible, because I know we've had you for about an hour and a half, so I appreciate that. So I don't think maybe next meeting we don't need a full presentation, but is it possible you can kind of put in a communication just what that relationship is? How is that 5-year strategy that you're working with merging when working with this zoning ordinance change and the master plan? I know the master plan's in development, so there may not be a lot of detail right there. But if there's a way that just say, we've been working on this strategy, this is what our plan, and this is how we think it's going to work with this change in the amendment. Because the land bank came up a lot in that conversation because we're aware of this surplus of land, and I think that's what we want to know to make us comfortable that this ordinance is working with local Detroiters. If there are strategies, as Commissioner mentioned, that can help prioritize or make sure there's additional opportunity for Detroit residents that want to establish, build properties, buy land, if those strategies are incorporated or somewhere referenced in that plan, I think that'll help us kind of understand what the land bank wants to do going forward.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I'm just going through all my notes on my flashcard here. Last question, and this is kind of more broad. Are you aware, or can you speak to just are the land bank's challenges as it relates to, we got 65,000 lots. People call us every day. People have complaints. There's a whole lot going on as it relates to just overall perception of the land bank. And I know that can create challenges. So what challenges are you aware of, and how is the land bank working to address those?
So, you said a word. So we are acutely aware of the concerns that are raised by residents, the challenges that they face. I will say that we have a team of very dedicated professionals who are oftentimes overwhelmed by the level of interest in what we are selling. So I will say, in the last 4 or 5 years, our call volume and our customer inquiries went from 40,000 a year to, we expect over 82,000 this year. So literally thousands and thousands of people are calling in a month, wanting. And so figuring out how to shift our operations in a way that we can be thoughtful and responsive, but still operate at a pace that is efficient, because our goal is to return the property to productive use. And so we have been trying to level up our technology so that we can address as many people as possible. We are working to improve our customer service delivery through like technology. So there's going to be we believe a significant population of people who are reaching out to the land bank who will be able to do things on their own, self-service. We're about to put a chat bot online where you can get information and don't have to wait for somebody to call you back. We know that will peel off a significant number of people who are calling, so they don't have to wait. But we also recognize that there's still a significant number of our constituents who aren't going to use the computer. They need that one-on-one. And so we know we couldn't staff our way out of our issue. We can't hire enough people to
Call center.
right. So that is why we are trying to balance technology, but also a staff of people who can meet people where they are. We have increased our outreach in the community. We have a team of people who are constantly in the community, constantly at community meetings, trying to educate people and provide, on the spot service so that they don't have to come into the land bank. But I really feel like education and around our programming is really where we really need to really level up our game. Because we have so many programs, it's overwhelming. And so we are trying to be more thoughtful about how we share that information with people in a way that it is digestible, but that people don't feel like, we're hiding the ball. Like all of it is available for them and they can access all of the programs or any of the programs that we have available for them. So we are in the process of upgrading our website, upgrading our customer service, all with a thought of trying to accommodate this extremely large volume of people who want to buy land. They want, nowhere else in the country can you buy houses as affordably as you can in the city of Detroit, and it'd be such a wonderful value proposition where you are walking in the door, and with a little bit of work, you have a house that's worth significantly more than you pay for it. We still have an opportunity to provide affordable housing to people at a price point where everybody can participate. And our programs are set up where there are low barriers to entry, so everybody can participate. And when you have programs where everybody can participate, everybody wants to participate. And so
Gotcha.
that is our struggle. But, I'm acutely aware of those concerns. And we struggle as a team trying to figure out how can we do more, how can we do it faster, how can we be more responsive, so that we are trying all of the things.
Okay, and I appreciate the transparency and explain that. And I agree. I think just communication seems to be the common denominator in a lot of processes to improve efficiency. So I think that's a great strategy. Is the land bank prepared that if this ordinance takes place to receive an additional influx, if you're getting 82 this year, you may get 100 next year because there's additional increased attention and attraction to these new R2 parcels or R3 parcels as they become more valuable, more units, more density. Is the land bank prepared for that kind of influx?
That's what we're preparing for, building our infrastructure, building out our technology, partnering with organizations to help us move quicker, provide better service, and deliver a product to people, developers who want to build, because we don't want to stand in the way. We want to be a partner. We want as many developers to come and build in Detroit as possible. And so we are, working on pilot programming that will allow for some pre-dev work to be done, so that when a developer comes to the door, we can provide a parcel of land where they can just start breaking ground. They don't have to do all of the 50 million steps before. We're going to try to clear all that out. And so we're working on all of those types of pilot programs to cater to the type of interest that we believe will come with the zoning changes.
Okay. And last question, easy question, maybe easy question. If you could just pick a year out the sky, what would be ideal timeline on when the land bank would like to see their inventory at zero? 2050,
Gosh.
2100, just.
You got me doing math this late. Okay, so it took us 10 years to sell 50,000 properties.
Right.
So I would say at least 10 years.
At least, okay.
To get rid of the rest.
Okay. I'm not going to hold you
Get
to
down,
it.
get down to a manageable,
Yeah.
it down to a manageable level where we are no longer the largest
Number
land
one.
bank.
Right.
Exactly.
What does it take to get us to number 2?
Yes, I would love for us to be like 5 or 6.
Right.
But to get it down to a manageable, I would say 10 years.
Another 10 years. Okay.
They didn't expect us to be able to sell this many in the first 10 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's impressive.
So that's 10 years.
Okay. And then this is more of a comment, just throwing ideas out. If there's a way to kind of have a pre-plan for like these R2 parcels, like we know we can get 10 units, like maybe we're packaging, and I think, we're packaging R2s and saying, because I know we're doing these RFPs going on. I think that's cool for the land bank to be doing. So if there's an opportunity to do that with some of these R2s, maybe give credit to Detroit developers and things like that, I think that'd be awesome.
All a part of our pre-dev planning work,
I appreciate that.
Yes.
All right. And again, thank you. I appreciate you for coming this evening and hanging out with us. I know it's been probably a little longer than we anticipated, but I think it was very well received, and we appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right. Moving forward, we're going to start our next presentation. This is the consideration of the zoning ordinance text amendment, Chapter 50 of the 2019 Detroit City Code to update regulations, procedures, and definitions relative to housing and parking requirements as requested by the Office of the City of Detroit Chief Operating Officer. Director Todd, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Again, Commissioners, we are pleased to be able to return before you with this evening of updates relative to the proposed zoning amendments from the Office of the Chief Operating Officer. We've indicated, this is a status report. We want to let you know that we have definitely made significant strides working with the COO's office and working with some of our other partner agencies in the city. And again, we do have with us the CEO, Marcus Vatkoff, as well as the Deputy COO, Andy Tavener. And I will turn it over to Andy to provide you with the update presentation, unless Marcus has any opening remarks that he would like to make.
No, I'd simply like to thank the commission for your stamina and engagement as the hour gets late. We hopefully have a good presentation for you that will validate exactly what Director Todd said, that we've really had terrific collaboration across more than half dozen city departments, including partnership, and I'd call it friendship with the CPC staff as we've worked really hard together. So hopefully you'll be pleased at what you hear. We've tried to take input from this body. We take that very seriously, and I think that will reflect in the updates that you see from us, as well as engagement from the public, which at the end of the day is what really matters. So hopefully, again, this update will be fruitful and keep us on our journey here to make some real positive changes for the citizens of Detroit. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Renner, whenever you're ready.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Give me just a moment to put the slides up.
Take your time.
My error, Mr. Chair, too busy talking and didn't promote her.
No, it's all right. Is there anyone virtual attending with you, or is it just you today?
Mr. Chair, it's just the
Just us.
COO and Deputy COO. Certainly, all of the team is here with the exception of Mr. Fazzini, who is on vacation, but Ms. Murphy is virtual. So we can augment as is necessary.
Welcome, Ms. Murphy.
Beautiful. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. It's good to see you all again. Thanks for having us. I wanted to start just momentarily with the bottom line up front. As Director Todd indicated and COO Von Kopf indicated, we've made tremendous progress, and we're here with a proposal that both the administration and CPC staff are supportive of. So I think it's really huge strides that we're coming here with a consensus proposal. So I wanted to talk through for a moment kind of where we are in the process, a couple of the updates that have been made to reach this point, and where we go from here. So level setting and reminding, especially for members of the public, we started the process here on July 17th with an introductory briefing. On July 31st, we returned to this commission with a public hearing on the first 3 proposals. Throughout the month of August, we continued to work with CPC staff and the administration to reach the point that we're at now. We're here throughout that process. We've been doing community engagement meetings. We've reached 14 meetings, including citywide, district by district, and neighborhood specific. We are here today with an update and follow-ups from the July 31st hearing, and we have noticed a public hearing on 2 additional proposals around accessory dwelling units and residential apartments on commercial corridors for October the 2nd. And we are respectfully and humbly requesting same-day action on October the 2nd. So, as a reminder, the goals of our proposal are to increase housing supply to reduce the upward pressure on housing costs that we have seen in Detroit, and to do so by expanding opportunities for residents and small local developers to be at the forefront of that building. And I wanted to go off script for just a moment, Commissioner Smith, to speak to the question that you had raised about how all of these strategies fit together and what our vision is for our 2 neighborhoods. So as I'll show momentarily, R2 is one of the most common districts in the city, but half of these parcels are vacant. There are definitely areas of market activity and market demand in these zones. But what we've seen and what is really universally acknowledged across the planning department, the housing and revitalization department, any city department, BC'd, any city department that works on development in the city, is that the city's current zoning rules really serve as a barrier to redeveloping a lot of these vacant parcels and some of the structures in R2. And when I say that, I really want to emphasize these are residential neighborhoods. The developers that we see who want to work in these areas are largely pretty small developers that are looking at smaller infill projects. They're looking at rehab projects. When I don't want to name names here, but when the behemoths in the city are looking for their next real estate investment, they're building on Woodward. They're not building in the R2 districts. So we really see efforts to remove barriers in these areas as hugely supportive of our local ecosystem for developers. And I think that came through, I get the privilege of being up here today, but I really feel like I'm standing on the shoulders of a lot of work that happened over the last 10 years. This proposal builds on all of the neighborhood framework plans completed by the planning department, certainly steals ideas quite directly from the Zone Detroit process, very intentionally so. It takes ideas from the Pro Housing Grant, which is a recent federal grant co-applied for by HRD and CPC to build more housing here in the city. And of course, I can't speak to the master plan because it's still in development, but PDD has been at the table throughout all of these discussions, and my understanding is their vision is quite similar. So I hope that is a kind of brief down payment on answering your question about how these things hang together. So there are 5 proposals on the table here before you. As I said, the first 3 were at a public hearing on July 31st. 2 of those have had no real material change, but I'll highlight the smaller technical updates that have come through. And then the third around parking lots has been modified to reach consensus. As you can see, proposals 4 and 5 go to a public hearing on October 2nd, as I mentioned. So as we've alluded to a few times, these proposals primarily affect our 2 districts. That's everything in green on the map here. So the first proposal is around expanding housing types that are eligible to be built by right in our 2 districts to include triplexes, quads, and townhouses. There hasn't been a material change here. The only update has been that update since July 31st specifically, has been that we are now newly applying the city's residential architectural compatibility standards to triplexes and quads. They currently only apply to single family and 2-family. So that's the only change in this component of the proposal since the 31st. The second proposal is around making it easier to rebuild on vacant lots by allowing sizing and spacing that matches the earlier homes in the neighborhood. The update on this proposal, again, this is pretty technocratic. We don't feel it is material, but the change since July 31st is that we are now proposing a sliding scale to adjust side setbacks based on the width of the lot. Our previous proposal to this group was to have a flat requirement for side setbacks. So this new approach builds on existing policy. We feel that it's better tailored to lot width and more nuanced. Finally, our third proposal here. This is around giving more flexibility on parking lot size in targeted cases. As commissioners will remember, this is the only proposal that has both residential and commercial effects. So we'll start here with residential. This is where the proposal has been modified most significantly since July 31st, and that is listed here in the update. We are now proposing allowing standardizing our parking requirement for multifamily buildings, so apartment buildings, citywide to 0.75 spaces per unit. Currently, our requirement is exactly that, 0.575 spaces per unit, only near key transit lines, and in other areas of the city, it's 1.25 spaces per unit. So the proposal here is to standardize, to maintain, I would say, a relatively more conservative and cautious approach on the changes that we're making compared to what we initially brought to this body. But our City Planning Commission colleagues felt that that was the appropriate way to go, and we're very happy to come together kind of in consensus to move forward. So the second residentially focused component is around making it feasible for projects to propose alternatives where that's sensible and appropriate for the land uses nearby. That component is unchanged. Moving on to the components of parking change that would most support small businesses. There hasn't been any change in these proposals since the July 31st hearing. They're exactly the same, and they are expanding the existing exemption for small commercial buildings, making it easier for commercial uses to offer a district approach to parking, so to share parking lots with the uses around them, and then offering a discount in the parking calculation for small commercial spaces in mixed-use buildings. So, Chair Smith, as I mentioned while you were away, none of those policies have changed since July 31st. Just the small business component of 3. There's been an update in the residential component. Yep, of course. So transitioning now to the last 2 policies were items that we flagged on July 31st as potential additions. And after additional policy work and additional community engagement, we are proposing bringing them into the proposal. As I mentioned before, they've been noticed for a public hearing on October 2nd, so we'll come back in 2 weeks and talk through them in more detail. The first of these proposals is around accessory dwelling units, which we call carriage houses here in Detroit. Other places call them in-law suites or granny flats. These are independent dwelling units in the backyard detached from the main house. The idea is that these offer kind of diverse, lower-cost housing options Oftentimes they'll be used for family members who'd like to live nearby with each other but not in the same structure, and they do present a lower cost infill opportunity. These are currently barred outright in R2 districts and very difficult to build in other districts. They typically require a number of different variances. So the proposal on the table here would be to allow accessory dwelling units in R2 through R6 districts. We'd be proposing putting in place, allowing ADUs to move forward, but putting in place guidelines that err more on the side of caution, I would say, to see how that develops, to assess its impacts, and certainly to expand over time if it proves to be appropriate. So some of those guidelines would be only allowing an ADU where the principal use is a single-family dwelling, a duplex or a triplex, only allowing one ADU per lot, detached and in the backyard, and putting some size limitations on ADUs to make sure that they remain kind of secondary to the principal structure on that lot. So we're suggesting excuse me, it's very late, 1,200 square feet or 60% the size of the principal residence, whichever is less, and a height limit of 25 feet or the height of the principal dwelling unit, whichever is less. That's about 2 stories. Finally, Proposal 5 is Proposal 5 would allow residential-only apartment buildings on commercial corridors in addition to mixed-use apartment buildings. The idea, of course, is kind of bringing more residents onto our corridors, more customers for small businesses. The only update to this proposal is we've confirmed which districts we would like to permit that in, specifically B2 and B4. We do not propose applying that to B5, which is primarily the central business district. That was mentioned as a possibility when we were first here. So finally, wanted to close with a couple more follow-ups out of the July 31st hearing and then turn to what the next steps on this proposal would be. Of course, the biggest follow-up from the 31st was having an opportunity to speak with the land banks. We thank them again for their attendance here. An additional area where the commission sought some further information was around how this proposal aligns with the administration's vision for public transit. So in your packets, you should have a memorandum from Executive Director Robert Kramer from DDOT. I'll also mention for context that DDOT is part of the COO office portfolio, so we spend quite a bit of our working lives working with DDOT to improve their services. Really a key foundational point that Executive Director Kramer makes is that transit viability, housing density, and thriving commercial corridors are all complementary and mutually reinforcing goals. So when you have more viable and frequent public transit, it makes it a lot easier to support thriving commercial corridors and more residential density, and exactly vice versa. When you have greater housing density or a busy commercial corridor, that brings more customers into public transit. So we very much see these as well-aligned strategies. DDOT's core priorities for achieving those goals are offering more frequent, reliable, and safe service, and improving the customer experience to make public transit an attractive option for Detroiters. In the near term, how we've done that is expanding service to meet and then exceed pre-pandemic service levels. So as of today, compared with the beginning of last year, DDOT has 40% more buses on the road every day. They've hired 150 more drivers, 40 more mechanics, had a budget boost of $20 million. That's the single biggest of any city department. So, we're really pushing very hard to expand service. We know there's a long way to go to get to a system that we would be proud of and that Detroiters are proud of, but we're doing that work every day, and I think we've made huge strides in that. In the long term, DDOT has also put forward a strategic plan for a vision of what a frequent and reliable system would look like. That does include bus rapid transit service, so very frequent service with enhanced amenities along those corridors. They're doing their first BRT pilots along 2 corridors already, so we're learning from that experience and what amenities make a difference. And the last component that we would mention is that DDOT's long-term vision is built in very close partnership with other city departments and other transit agencies, both locally and at the regional level. So they do quite a bit of work kind of co-planning services with other transit agencies, and certainly they've been a key player in the Plan Detroit conversations around how mobility and how public transit should align with land use and again get that mutually reinforcing complementary positive cycle that we are looking for. So turning now to a bit of process updates, just the tail end here, bear with me. So we wanted to update you on our community engagement meetings, which have continued since July 31st. We are now up to 19 letters of support submitted from nonprofits, advocacy organizations, and many different small local developers and other developers in the local ecosystem. We've held, as I mentioned before, we've held 14 community engagement meetings, citywide, district by district, and neighborhood specific. We've had over 300 residents in those meetings, and we end each of those meetings with a show of hands on how people feel about the proposals. Every single proposal in every single meeting has had between 60 to 90% support. Typically, I'd say 70 to 75% on average across each of these. So a few of the themes, some of the neighborhoods with the highest levels of disinvestment are the most directly and unequivocally supportive of removing barriers to see more investment. So when we go into neighborhoods that haven't seen a lot of investment lately, they are very, very deeply supportive of this proposal. Many participants actually aspire to build ADUs or small infill projects. It's actually quite rare that we make it through one of these meetings without having at least a few people say, hey, I'm really interested in doing this. How do I do this? We've also heard quite a bit of support for kind of thoughtfully and gradually increasing density and offering more walkable options in the community. That comes up fairly often. And if I had to highlight one question or concern that we get more than any, we do tend to get comments from residents in R1 neighborhoods with large lots, those kind of very well-established neighborhoods you're familiar with, who voice a lot of support for maintaining existing policies. This proposal does maintain existing policies, very intentionally so, in those neighborhoods, so we do try to provide the utmost clarity and assurance that that is the case. So I wanted to close by talking about the next steps from here. As commissioners will remember, we have always intended to have this proposal considered by City Council in the fall if the commission chooses to move forward. You know, I will say we've greatly actually enjoyed, genuinely enjoyed and benefited from the robust engagement we've had with this commission so far. Our sincere hope is to have the same kind of time and opportunity to have that engagement with our elected colleagues on City Council. As you can see in the schedule before you, a vote on October 2nd allows roughly 7 weeks of consideration at City Council. That is an increasingly narrow window to have this proposal considered in the fall. And I say that not to end on a dour note in any way, but because we've had such positive engagement with the commission so far, and we feel that we have a very strong proposal now on the table, you know, we want to be very transparent and honest with you about where there is an opportunity to make some progress this fall versus kind of ways that we may risk that window closing without making progress on some of the items that I think we can collectively agree are quite important to the city. So I'll pause there. Very happy to take everyone's questions.
Thank you. Much appreciate the continued due diligence and making sure that this proposal reflects our comments and what the residents are saying. So thank you again for doing that. Commissioners, do you have any questions? Commissioner Russell.
This is very nice, very succinct proposal. And then this is just for my education. The residential architecture compatibility. Residential architecture compatibility that's now going to be applied to 3 and 4 years. I'm not sure. Can you tell me what that is?
Well, it's a mouthful, first and foremost. Yes, so the city has standards that currently apply to single-family homes and duplexes. And what those standards say is that you have to look at other homes within 200 feet on the same block face of you, and you have to look at 6 distinct elements of that home. So the building massing, kind of the size and structure of it, whether it has an attached or detached garage, the style of the roof, the pattern of the windows, and I can do 4 of 6 off the top of my head, but not all 6.
Well, that was perfect. That explained. Okay.
Yep.
And then the other, you spoke about in B2 that there's a residential component that can be applied to those buildings. If off the top of your head you know, what would be the max height of a building that added that in B2?
Let me make sure In R2, if you added,
Not in R2. In
B2, I
B2.
apologize.
Sorry, I probably didn't enunciate properly. And it was in 5. No? No, yeah, 5. Allow apartments on commercial corridors. And it said, confirming proposal will include only B2 and B4. And in a B2 district, what would be the max height of that structure?
Chris Gulak, CPC staff. Off the top of my head, I think it's 35 feet, but then I think it can go up based on the width of the road that you're on. So if it's a wider road, you can go up higher. But we can double check why we're.
I think it's 35 feet as well, and the width of the road is if the road is wider than 80 feet, so that's a very large road. So largely 35 feet.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Russell. Vice Chair?
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, and thank you for this presentation. It's good to see you be back, and I appreciate you answering our questions. I have questions about the change on ADUs. One of your bullet points said low-cost infill option for residents, and I would love if you could explain what that is, please.
Absolutely, yep. So ADUs tend to be just smaller structures in general. 1,200 square foot structure is pretty small for a residential structure. And there are actually these, I'm fascinated by them. There are kits that you can purchase from places like Home Depot that will give you the framing for the walls. You do have to fill it in, of course, with drywall. But there are a little bit more, I would say, I don't want to say quite off the shelf because there's still a lot of construction to be done, but there are easier methods to build them and lower cost methods to build them.
Okay, got it. Oh, so this bullet point is saying in allowing ADUs from R2 to R6, residents now have the option of kind of like a assemble it themselves DIY kit, which is comparatively cheaper than other types of building. Okay, that is very helpful. Thank you so much. And I'm also curious about, with ADUs, should there be any consideration for if short-term rentals are allowed in them? Should that be talked about? And I think I know Detroit's policy for short-term rentals, but I would love to know if that's something that can be allowed in ADUs, if we should make it just for like permanent residences. That is what I'm thinking about. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Through the chair to Vice Chair Secretary Utabi. We certainly had discussion about that, and we know that it will be an issue certainly as it goes to City Council. I think we probably had a couple people maybe raise it. It might have been sidebars in some of the community engagement. And it is certainly not the intent that they be used in that fashion. So we're seeing it, maybe there could be some proactive language that is added, but we're not saying anywhere within this proposal or within the current that an ADU could be used for short-term rental. Indeed, we do hope to come back with short-term rental specific legislation. We have been delayed in doing anything over these past few years because of work that was being done at the state level, where the state legislature was looking at actually preempting local control on this issue. And I think I may have mentioned before that Councilmember Callaway has come forward and requested that the issue be reengaged. So this is something that we will be working on in the next 6 to 8 months, I think. So you'll be seeing something. But right now, there's no intent that these ADUs would be used in that fashion. Nothing on the books today would allow that.
Okay. Thank you so much for the context. That's really helpful. I think that would be a great addition into the language then.
And I guess let me be clear.
Okay.
Where they do exist today, there is enforcement that BC tries to do as rental units. and making sure that these things comply, that there's some safety where you have an identified rental unit. Enforcing what we had put forward back in 2015, which was a prohibition on short-term rentals as home occupations, was sort of, I guess, a moratorium in essence was put forward by the administration in order to allow us all the time to better consider the impact, what it meant, and to look at other regulations. And in essence, we are still doing that.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for responding. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair. And just a brief follow-up. Would this preclude these ADUs from being used as rentals, long-term rentals, or?
Would not.
It would not. So you could potentially get an ADU and participate in the rental process as it currently exists, but there just may be a little gray area until the city determines how to handle specifically short-term rentals, granted the state comes to a decision.
Well, yes, through the chair, yes. I guess we're hopeful that the state will not once again re-engage this issue and set some of the major urban areas, our efforts at regulating them aside. I believe much of the thrust initially was, as we're kind of referring to some of our unique features here in the state of Michigan, our coastal communities where you have resort, communities where we have the second homes or the vacation homes for people, and where those communities and the homeowners therein are looking to be able to take advantage of that property and use them as short-term rentals. I think that was really the thrust, but out of that came a similar thought that, well, why would you just limit it to those communities? And therefore the state began to look at a greater or a larger applicability, which resulted in this conversation that could, again, take away local control. So we are hopeful that they will not look to take that up again, and if they do, it will not have as far-reaching implications, so that we can look to develop our own regulations and be self-determining.
Got you. Understood. So the state started a conversation, but that fizzled out. So right now, municipalities have local control.
There were a number of different bills that came from a few different senators or representatives, probably over the course of maybe the last 8 years at different times.
Okay. Thank you. Commissioner Esparza.
Thank you, Chairman. I do have to give credit all around. I think we've come a long way since July. I'm really impressed with the progress to date, and I really want to continue to be supportive of the momentum and the collaboration that's taken place to date. And with that, and where we're at in time, I would be very supportive of trying to simplify the schedule situation moving forward and taking action today with what we can take action on. And it appears it could be 3 out of the 5 items, or maybe it's all 5. I'm not sure. I'm going to defer to the director and the chairman on that, but just wanted to share those thoughts because I do recall the first part of July when this came before us and where we started and where we're at now. In that time in between, I'm really impressed. So, thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Esparza. Do you have any comments? And then I'll loop back to that question. Commissioner Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would echo Commissioner Esparza's comments, the entirety of it. But one question, with 5, with allowing apartments on commercial corridors, does that include townhomes and walk-ups, like brownstones?
No, sir, that's a different land use category.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Commissioner Harrison.
Thank you. A question pertaining to.
Want to do your microphone for me, Commissioner?
Absolutely. Thank you. hopefully you all can hear me now. I'd like to see the schedule up again that you initially proposed, going back to the timeline that you had of what's coming up. So the public hearing that you have, can you just go back again and just walk us through the timeline of what you plan to discuss with the public on October 2nd and October 3rd? Public hearing is scheduled, but you also mentioned that I thought there was one slide that said, in addition to the public hearing, that there was one other engagement plan. Am I incorrect on that? Yeah.
I started with a timeline of what we've done so far and ended with where we were going.
Okay, right,
So-
here it is. Okay.
I think this may also be probably most relevant to the question raised by Commissioner Esparza. So we first joined the commission for just an introductory briefing on July 17th, nothing formal. On July 31st, there was a formally noticed public hearing that covered the first three proposals that we talked about here. So the changes to by right uses in R2, the change to make it easier to rebuild on vacant land, and the change to provide more flexibility around parking lot sizes. So those have been considered in a public hearing. What we did is notice a second public hearing for October 2nd, which is the first time that ADUs and apartments on commercial corridors have been formally noticed. Okay. So I would need to defer to the CPC chair. My understanding of the procedure is that those two components would not be able to move because the public hearing is in another 2 weeks. And I'd need to defer to him on what would happen to the first three that have had a public hearing.
Yes, if you could, Director Todd, and possibly maybe you could dovetail into Commissioner Esparza's question.
I will echo Deputy COO Taverner's comments. What we recognized coming out of the last public hearing and in the subsequent conversations where we look to make certain changes and additions, that different sections of the ordinance had to be added in order to achieve that, thus the second public hearing. While we're very pleased that you are pleased and would be ready to, take some actions today, while we as staff would feel more comfortable just putting it all in a single action on that day. Where we're going to come back to you at that time with the ordinance. We'll have the full staff recommendations and just put it all under one packet. There's no advantage to taking any action today, given the timeline, given that we're going to put this all in a single ordinance that will then go to law department for approval as to form and make its way, subsequently then to city council for public hearing. But we're definitely pleased that you are pleased and have this readiness to act. That lets us know that we were definitely successful in our efforts. Yeah. But again, we would prefer, just as a matter of practice, to knit it all together and just come in with a single set of recommendations for you.
Well, I do certainly appreciate and defer to Director Todd on procedure in his body. I do just want to elaborate or add on to one specific comment, which is the timeline for City Council's consideration of this proposal is increasingly narrow, in part because of the way that the fall schedule falls. So there are a few council cancellations because of holidays, and there are a couple other very significant proposals going up to City Council, which is actually probably the most significant barrier. It's just actually quite challenging logistically enough to get hearing times scheduled. So a difference of a few weeks would actually make quite a difference for us in the ability to ensure that there's a certain path to having a public hearing and consideration this fall. But again, we're trying to move in lockstep with Director Todd and his staff.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. And I think we're pleased that you're pleased. So I think that just speaks to everyone's. I think it's a great ordinance, and I think we're all pretty excited. So thank you. Does that answer all of Commissioner comments or questions? Oh, yep. Commissioner Bennett, go ahead.
One more. Unfortunately, I will not be at that meeting, so I'm going to just give my thumbs up, even though I can't vote officially.
All right. Thank you, Commissioner Bennett. And then one final question. I'm looking at the language. I think I'm going to answer my question. Carriage houses are considered ADUs, structures. So currently, ADUs are permitted in the ordinance. Yet, the structures are, but the use isn't maybe? Is that how that works?
So the term ADU does not exist in the ordinance today.
Okay.
Again, one of the products that comes out of the work with Zone Detroit. Well, certainly in how we've been attempting to pursue it. But yes, we have any number of structures that certainly exist in our historic districts and other areas across the city that would mirror that. And where we have the activity taking place in essence today. And certainly we have other examples wherein a garage has been converted into a modern-day carriage house, if you will. Certainly mimicking or foreshadowing what we are looking to formally allow today.
Okay. And will this ordinance, if it has not already been established, design standards, dimensional standards for ADU specifically, like how far it can be from the property line, height of those trucks, are those embedded into this ordinance? They are, okay. Could you, I don't know if we got to go over those. Can we go over that when you come back briefly on the second, if that's possible?
Sure, yep. The short version is that we tried to build on the existing dimensional requirements for accessory structures because this is a type of accessory structure, but yeah, we'll bring the details.
Okay, yep. Yep, Commissioner Russell, thank you.
Hey, you got, so, I guess this is more of a suggestion. I was thinking that in the areas of R2 where we're talking about adding the attached dwelling or the separate dwelling, if there was for smaller developers or individuals that wanted to take advantage of that, if there was kind of a template that said, you know, you're going to have a bathroom in here, this is what needs to happen to connect to the sewer, this is how you get water, or, you know, where, you know, and just some suggestions of how you could get that done with maybe even some cost attached to it and separate from the proposal, but that would be, you know, and for a typical size, because I think you guys talked about some certain lot sizes, you know, here's what your max build out could be, or, you know, and that can go above a garage, or you don't have to have a garage, or, you know, and what those would look like. And
Absolutely. So one element of the pro-housing grant that I mentioned is developing some template plans for different types of home building that could be done. I'm very happy to work with HRD and see if they will include ADUs given this new proposal.
And is that something that the graphic of that, is that something that's going to go into the actual code?
Through the chair to Commissioner Russell, I think that much like we talked about with Director Cox when he was here, when we were talking about signage and some other programs, I think what we're looking at is trying not to burden the code with things that may certainly be a little bit more mutable, but this would maybe go in a guidebook, or again, other mechanism may appear on a website, but it will take a different form, but would be intended to complement the zoning ordinance.
Thanks again very much, guys.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Russell. And I think that concludes all of our comments and questions. So again, thank you also for your due diligence and working with us and working with staff and bringing this ordinance forward. And we look forward to seeing you at our next meeting.
Thank you very much.
All right. So moving forward, next we have the public comment portion of our agenda. This is the portion where we allow the public, or the public is allowed to speak, ask questions, comments on any topic related to the agenda or unrelated to the agenda. There are two ways to participate. If you're here in person, you can get a yellow comment card from staff. Staff will bring that to the front, and we will use that to acknowledge you. And if you are participating in this meeting virtually, you can raise your hand within the Zoom platform. We will acknowledge you in that fashion, bring you over, and then you'll have the opportunity to speak. Everyone has 2 minutes. And with that, we will start the public comment. Ms. Swed, will you be assisting me this evening?
Yes,
Did I get it right that time? All right, thank you.
Oh, yes. As Director Todd just reminded me, from this point forward, I'll be using the name Timrita Brule. I had a legal name change recently.
Okay, thank you, Ms. DeBrule. Do we have any virtual comments?
Mr. Chair, I do not see any hands raised virtually.
Okay, and do we have any in-person comments?
Mr. Chair, we do have one.
Okay, for you.
Mr. Chair, we will, if you would, have her come to the table and fill out the card post-presentation.
Yep. Hello, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Sorry. So I've been here since 5. I had the opportunity to sit in on the interviews. It was very insightful. So I'm not mad at the time I spent here. Again, it was very insightful. I'm not sure if you guys know what the interview was like, the position I was interviewing for, but it was the
Ombudsman.
Yep. And I was listening to them, like, I was trying to understand, like, from their perspective, what complaints, not even being in that position, what complaints that they heard from residents and people within the city. So I know they said I gotta limit my question and comment. So I guess my biggest question is, how does the commission plan on investing in the city's residents as far as resources, sustainability, and self-efficiency for its residents? And if I can add one small thing, I know you guys said you were still working on the master plan, but if you can give me like some little nudge or some hints on what's in that, that'd be great. And I'm gonna fill this out while y'all doing that.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. DeBrule, yes?
Mr. Chair, we did also have a hand raised virtually during that public comment.
Let's acknowledge the virtual, and then Director Todd, if you could maybe help coordinate an aggregated response.
So our virtual caller is Patterson, and they should be able to unmute now.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening.
This is Diane Patterson from the Grandmont Rosedale neighborhoods. I appreciate everything that you've done. I know you've made some concessions. My concern, as always, is the ADU, making sure that a permit is required and that there is mandating enforcement. Because right now we have things that are already in place. We do have apartments above garages. The citizens really don't have an avenue when there is a problem unless it's put in the ordinance initially that says that a permit is required so that you're not building a shack. And then it's just, or disrupting the neighborhood, and that there has to be ample parking. I'm very much in favor of mandating enforcement and just having some sort of accountability, because everything sounds good. Your pictures are beautiful. In the best case scenario, that's what we would have. But the reality is people make cuts. They run out of money. They don't do what they should be doing. And, you know, it lessens the ability for homeowners to have legacy costs and have a community that people want to move into. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Does that conclude our virtual and in-person comments?
Mr. Chair, it does.
Okay, and with that, we will close public comment. And Director Todd, if you could, please.
Certainly, Mr. Chair, through you to our first in-person, to our first speaker, the in-person speaker. With respect to what was taking place when she arrived earlier, be happy to engage with her further and connect her with the current ombudsman, Mr. Simpson, if she'd like to learn even more directly from them. But indeed, City Council was conducting interviews for the ombudsman's position, which is what caused the delayed start of the commission meeting today. The ombudsman position is renewed every 10 years. Bruce Simpson has held that position for this last term, and his position, and that term rather, expires the beginning of October. So City Council has been engaged in soliciting for individuals to fill that spot, and today conducted interviews of, I believe, 10 candidates. They will be taking a vote on that in the coming weeks, and again, the new individual will step into those shoes. With respect to the speaker's other questions, I think as you put it, it was investing. It is the role of the commission first and foremost, or primarily, to be the zoning commission. Commission also has a direct role in that city's master plan of policies, which is initiated and prepared by the Planning and Development Department, and then runs through its part of its entitlement process statutorily through the Planning Commission. You also mentioned, I believe, sustainability. All of those items certainly would, sustainability would be one of the many policy items that would be established in a new master plan. The master plan today covers any number of policy areas as it breaks the city down, not only in those policies, according to those policies, but into geographic divisions across the city. So the commission would be working in those areas through the master plan, and you can participate even today. You can go to the Planning and Development Department's website and look, search for the Plan Detroit project, and you can get all of the documents in terms of work that has been done, and also see the schedule of engagement and participatory opportunities that are upcoming. And then with respect to the zoning side of it, as you may have heard, the commission has been engaged with the Zone Detroit process, which is the Planning Commission's effort to refresh and to rethink, or to otherwise revise and to update the city's zoning ordinance. And that where the master plan is providing the broad vision for the city, the zoning ordinance provides the regulatory scheme in terms of how land can be used, and becomes one of the primary ways whereby the vision of the master plan is brought to bear. So by and large, the commission is responsible for helping to develop and to establish the policies that will govern the built environment.
Beautifully put. Thank you.
And again, happy, Mr. Chair, to take time with the citizen to answer any further questions she may have.
Okay, thank you. And I hope that answered the question that was asked. Moving on, we have unfinished business. Director Todd, do we have any unfinished business?
Mr. Chair, Commissioners, there is none.
Thank you. Do we have any new business?
There is none.
Thank you. Do you have any staff reports?
We will forego the staff report this evening.
Okay. Member reports? Looks like we're foregoing the member reports as well. Are there any communications?
There are none.
There are none. All right. Well, the time is 9:38, and we will adjourn this meeting to the call of the chair. No, we're just going to adjourn the meeting. We're just going to adjourn the meeting. All right, thank you.
Unless you.